Hello students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I am broadcasting to you live from Budapest here in Central Europe. I hope everybody is having a great day. Hi Makpreet, hi Naima Sultan, hi Khyber, hi Surya, hi Lina Naji. Good to see so many students already chatting in English with each other. Fantastic. Again, today, IELTS listening for Band 9, we are focusing on Section 3 and 4 of the listening exam, the more challenging sections. Our materials are coming from our websites for academic. Check us out at aehelp.com. And if you are learning for the general version of the test, check us out at gieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have 6 full practice exams, audio for the listening, speaking, reading, as well as an interactive course, and of course, a fully interactive software to teach you strategies and tips to get those high scores. If you have questions about the exam or about our products, don't be shy. Send me an email, Adrian, A-D-R-I-A-N, at aehelp.com. Fantastic. Tomorrow we will have a task 2 writing class and a reading class as well. Now, let's get right into today's lesson. I'm going to play the audio for everyone for Section 3. We're going to warm up our ears and our brains with some listening and answering. This Section 3, for those of you that have our books, our exam books, it's Exam Book 1, Test Number 1, Section 3. Okay. Now, I'm going to play the audio in just a moment, and I have maximum volume on my end. So if it's quiet for you, just use a headset, turn up the volume. You should hear it okay. Please do not write answers into the chat. Don't confuse your classmates. Do not spoil it for them. Let everybody have a fair chance to answer. So don't write into the chat, please. We will go through the answers at the end together, and you will have a chance to share your answers, okay? So here we go. I'm just going to jump over to our website. And on our website at the top here, I can log into my student account. And once I am in my student account, I can go into the audio CDs. Since this is exam number 1, it will be listening section 3. So everybody have your pencil, your paper ready, okay? Again, don't write your answers into the chat. Write them into another document or on paper. We will share them after. Here we go with listening section 3.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear 3 students organising a class project. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
I just got an email from the professor saying the due date for our European History group project has been pushed back to Monday.
Great! That means we'll have the weekend to work on it.
I suppose that's good news, but I don't really want to do any homework on my weekend. I had planned to go away with my girlfriend for some relaxation this weekend.
I suppose that's understandable. Maybe we should just have it done by Friday, the original due date. That gives us today and Thursday to finish it.
We can do that, I think. I'm available tomorrow. How about we spend today planning it, assign tasks to take home with us and do tonight, and then meet tomorrow and put it all together? Does that sound right?
That works for me.
That doesn't work too well for me. My afternoon is very busy. I guess I'll just have to burn the midnight oil tonight.
What has you so tied up, Evan?
I have a basketball game after school today, and then my favourite football team plays this evening at 7. It's okay though. I'll get the work done. Let's get started on the planning.
All right, so we have to come up with a 3-panel poster about a topic in European history. I already bought the material for the poster, so we don't have to worry about that.
How much was it?
It was £3.
Okay, we'll each give you £1 for the poster board.
No, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway.
Sounds good to me.
Right then, since there's 3 of us, my idea was that 2 of us could take care of the writing part of the project, while one of us could look after the artwork, making the poster look smart.
I'll do the artwork. I think I'm a pretty good artist.
I'll be happy to do half the writing. What topics are we going to choose?
Well, the professor said the topic has to be an event that took place somewhere between 1400 and 1800, so we can't do either of the world wars.
That's too bad. My dad is an expert on the Second World War, and he could have helped me with my part. What are we going to do instead?
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
I was reading my textbook the other day and I read some really interesting information on the French Revolution.
That's a really good idea.
I know. How about instead of doing a summary of the French Revolution, we write about some of the people involved instead?
Oh, I like that idea. So who are some of the important people?
Well, there's the King, Louis XVI.
Robespierre was important, I think.
Yes, he was. And of course, Napoleon Bonaparte.
We should have 4 people, so you can each write about 2 people.
How about Marie Antoinette?
Okay, so we have 4 historical figures. Each of you are going to write about 2. Now we have to decide how much we're going to write. Remember, we have to fill up a 3-board poster.
That's a good point about the 3-board poster. Maybe we should do a 5th person, then we can have 2 figures on each side with 1 in the middle.
Good idea. We can make the middle one really important. We'll make that one Napoleon. As for 5th person, how about Voltaire?
Good. So how about I do the important one on Napoleon and a smaller one on Robespierre?
Okay, and I'll do the other 3.
How long should each topic be?
I'd say 200 words each for the small ones and 450 for the big one on Napoleon.
I think that sounds about right. What do you think about meeting up later on?
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
And students, always use that half a minute to check your answers. Make sure that you didn't make any silly spelling mistakes or missed an important part of the question. And now let's answer these questions together. All right. So here we go, students. For number 21, what day of the week does this discussion take place? So what day of the week does this discussion take place? Naima says it's on Monday. Pachuth says it's on Monday as well. Nope, not on Monday. And Amrit, no, it's not on Thursday either. Lovepreet says, nope, it's not on Monday. Monday is the due date for their project, but they're not speaking on Monday. Okay. For Dovs, I don't think it's Friday either. Surya seems to have the first correct answer. Amrit, make sure to capitalize the W. Haung, good to see you in class. You have the right answer and you use the capital W. That's great. All right, students, if you have a question like this where you're having difficulty and you don't know, always go to the transcripts. The transcripts, if you have a good IELTS study book, you should see the transcripts in the back. Like in ours, you will find this on page 160, where you can basically see what the people are saying. So here, take a look. Okay. Megan, one of the women, says, I just got an email from the professor saying the due date for our European history group project has been pushed back to Monday. So it's been pushed to Monday. Okay, that's the due date. Anna says, great, that means we have the weekend to work on it. And then Evan, the man, says, I suppose that's good, but I really don't want to be doing homework on the weekend. I plan to go away with my girlfriend. Okay, and then Megan says, in response to Evan, who doesn't want to do any work on the weekend, I suppose that's understandable. Maybe we should just have it done by Friday. So we should finish it by Friday, the original due date. That gives us today and Thursday to finish it. Okay, so it's going to be handed in on Friday. So it's done by Friday. So they're going to work on it today and Thursday, which means that this is an inferred answer and the correct answer is Wednesday. Okay, this type of question is called an inferred answer, and you have these kinds of questions in part 3 and part 4 of the listening, especially where you get the answer by listening to the information. They don't actually say the word that you're putting in. Okay, so remember, section 3 and 4 are more challenging, and you have these questions that are called inferred answers, which you understand by listening carefully to the information. So here, the correct answer is Wednesday. And if you got the idea of Wednesday, make sure you don't lose silly marks or don't make silly mistakes. Write capital, okay? And you can write it like this. Wednesday, W-E-D. Okay, then you don't make any spelling mistakes. You can use all capital letters. The period's not absolutely important, but it's good to put that in to show that it's an abbreviation. Okay, and if you really want to write the whole word, then it's Wednesday with an N here. Okay, that's kind of a silent N, so it's Wednesday. There's a Wednesday. Okay, all right. Yeah, so I have some interesting comments in the chat. Sana says they didn't even let us read the questions of section 4. They give you a very short time to review section 4, Sana. You really only have time to look at the topic, the controlling ideas. You cannot look at the questions in detail. You get that from listening, okay? All right, let's keep going. So, sometimes students ask us, wow, is this more difficult than the real IELTS? No, it's not. Our materials are exactly the same difficulty as the real exam. Okay, we pay very close attention to make sure that the difficulty is the same level. All right, here we go. So write no more than one word, okay? Pay really careful attention to instructions. It's a table. The group's task, so what they're doing, and when they're going to finish it. So today, what are they doing today? What's the correct answer for number 22? Okay, what are they planning to do today? Surya, you're asking if it's academic or general? There's no difference. Listening and speaking is the same for academic and general IELTS. Okay. Kadi, Kyber, Haung, very good. Planning. Okay. The correct answer is planning. Absolutely. Planning the project today, doing the project tomorrow, and putting the project together when? When are they planning to put the project together? When do they expect to put the project together? So everybody who said planning for 22, you're correct, you're right. and they are putting together the project. Okay, they're planning it today. They're doing the project tonight, and they're going to have it finished by Friday. So the correct answer is tomorrow. Don't overcomplicate, students. It's actually Thursday. Okay? Sharif, you don't want to skim all of the questions unless you're very proficient in English. You just want to focus on the topic of the questions, on the key words. Okay? So this one should be tomorrow. The answer. Now make sure you know the spelling of tomorrow with the double R. Okay? So makes sense. Today, tonight, tomorrow. Okay? All right? Here we go. So 22, planning. 23, tomorrow. Okay? If you said Thursday, you'll probably get that point, Juan Pablo, because that is tomorrow, but tomorrow is what they say in the audio. They'll say, we'll put the project together tomorrow. They actually say the word tomorrow. Okay, they don't say Thursday, they say tomorrow. But Juan, that is a correct answer, so they'll give it to you. Okay, and number 24, choose the correct letter, A, B, or C. This is multiple choice. Again, you need to hear the answer and then pick. If you're just focusing on this, on these questions, you might miss it, okay? It's really important, students, to remember that this is a listening exam. It's not match the exam. It's not a go fish exam, and it's not reading, okay? So who paid for it? It was one of the women's dad. Yeah, she said, my dad paid for it anyway. There's paraphrasing. She doesn't say my father. I think she says my dad paid for it anyway. So dad, father, okay? But again, if you're not sure about that, just check the transcripts, see that section, and then you'll be confident in the future. So let's jump to the transcripts again. Let's go to that part. So here, Anna says it was 3 pounds. Then they'll say, oh, we'll each pay 1 pound. And then Anna says, no, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway. So again, dad is paraphrased as father. Okay, students, again, to get band scores 6.5 or more on the exam, you can't just try to listen for words. Okay, it's not enough. All right, I'm going to make a note about that because it's very important, and I know a lot of students are confused and they think that you just have to catch words in the listening. So here is a very important tip for your next exam. So in the listening, simply trying to catch words from the audio is not enough to get a high band score. Instead, you have to listen, understand, and give the answer. Okay, now here's a strategy. Use the transcripts in the back of your study book to help you with this. Okay, so keep that in mind, all right? Okay, let's go back to our questions and keep going forward. Yeah. Sharif, I just gave you a tip for multiple choice. So Sharif Rashwan is saying tips for multiple choice. Here, I'll write it down, okay? So multiple choice tips. Here's a tip for multiple choice. I know a lot of students ask about multiple choice in the listening. So here's some multiple choice advice, okay? I'll do that. I know, Sharif, a lot of other people have asked, okay? So number 1, make sure to review these questions in your review time. Okay? So focus on the question, not the answer. Focus on the question in the review time. Okay, I'll show you this in a second. Number 2, pay careful attention in the audio when the answer comes. Number 3, recognize the paraphrasing between the audio and the correct answer. Okay, so these are the steps to mastering multiple choice questions and giving the right answer. Okay, let me show that to you. So again, number 1, focus on the question in the review time, especially if you have several choices where you have like 2 or 3 that you have to choose. Pay careful attention to the audio when the answer comes, and then recognize the paraphrasing. Let me show you what I mean. It's the exact question that we were working on right now. So if I jump back here, so again, notice the paraphrasing. No, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway. That's the answer to this multiple choice. So if I go back to the question, okay, here's the question. Who paid the cost of the poster board? So during that 30-second review time, right, when it says now you have some time to review the questions, and I see that, oh, this is a multiple choice, I don't worry too much about that. Okay, so don't worry about the answers because you're not going to hear the same words. You didn't hear the woman's father paid for it. You didn't hear that anyway. So you pay attention to the question. You pay attention to this. Okay, who paid the cost of the poster board? So now you know that, okay, in the audio, I'm going to hear them talking about paying money, somebody buying something, somebody purchasing. Okay, so I'm paying careful attention, and then I do hear that. So I hear the girl say, oh, I already picked up the materials for the poster boards. And then the man says, how much was it? And then she says, £3. And then the other girl says, okay, we'll pay you £1 each. And she said, no, don't worry about it. My dad paid for it anyway. So, oh, there's the my dad paid for it. There's the paraphrase. Now you're able to choose the correct answer. Okay. For section 3 and section 4, if you're trying to do multiple choice by just listening for one of these responses, it's not going to work because they don't say that. Okay. They won't say the exact sentence. So you have to pay attention to the question, not the answers. The big mistake that most students make is they're paying a lot of attention to the answers and they don't pay enough attention to the question. And that's a huge mistake. Okay? So at home, when you're practicing, focus on the question, not the answers. Okay? Sharif, I'm glad that that made sense for you now. Now it's just making sure that you practice. Gurkarat, thank you for being a member. For multiple choice for reading, we'll cover that in another class when we're doing reading, okay? Just keep paying attention to the classes. I think we have one later this week, day after tomorrow. Okay, let's keep going with the questions here. So, question number 25. Here it's no more than 3 words. The topic must be an event that occurred sometime between the years something and something. So here we need a number because it's years, and here we need another number. Okay? So in your answer sheet, you have box number 25, and you simply have your number, comma, and another number. What are the 2 numbers that we need there? Macpreet says 14 and 1800. Okay. Kyber says 14 and 18. So it seems like 14 to 1800 is the most popular answer. So yeah, just put into your answer sheet 14 and 18. Okay. I'll double check that in the answer sheet later, but that seems correct. All right, number 26. What topic would the male student like to write on but cannot due to the assignment restrictions. So the man says, it's too bad we can't write about that. My dad's an expert on that topic. He could really help us. What is that topic? Kyber, very good, okay. Amrit, that's also a good answer. It's much more difficult than what Kyber did, but it's correct. That's why it's no more than 3 words. So Kyber, if you notice the chat, used the simplest way to state this. It's World War II. Okay, World War II. All right. Gurkarat, we're doing a listening section. You joined a little bit late, but don't worry. We've got section 4 coming up. Haung, that's also correct. So you can say Second World War. And it's very important that the W, W, and the S are big capital letters, okay? If you write these as small letters, any one of them, it's going to be wrong, okay? Naima, it has to be a big W, and 2, okay? So W, W2, big W's, and the Roman numeral 2. If you use the Arabic 2, that's fine as well, all right? That'll work. Just make sure those W's are big, all right? Okay, so World War II. Simplest is WW, Roman numeral 2. Second World War or World War II, those are all okay. All right, and then we have 4 more questions coming up. This was a matching question. Again, you had to pay careful attention. The question is, where do the students decide to put each historical figure? So the project that they're doing, it looks like this. They have a poster board. This is a common kind of project, I think, in many parts of the world, where you basically have this 3-board poster, and then you have information on the 3 panels of the poster, and then you have maybe some images. In their project, they have one important person in the middle, and then they have 2 less but also important people on the side, and then they have some information, right? You might have projects where you have graphs or charts on it, something like that. Okay. All right, so you have A, they're putting the person on the side of the poster, B, in the middle of the poster, or C, it's not on the poster. You have to pay careful attention. Robespierre, is he included? Does he go onto the poster? Where does he go on the poster? Kyber says Robespierre should be on the poster, should be on the side of the poster. Yoon Makshim agrees. Sana and Lovepreet and Naima also agree. And I too agree. Robespierre was one of the people that they want to talk about. So let's call that person Robespierre, and Robespierre should be on the side of the posters. So in the space for 27 on your answer sheet, you would simply just put A like that, and then you would get that correct. Okay, excellent. Rousseau, number 28, Rousseau. Side of the poster, middle of the poster, not on the poster. Number 28. What do you think? Not on the poster, that's right. Good job for Dobbs. Good for you, Kyber. Good job, Pachu. Yeah, not on the poster for 28. They don't mention it, right? So Rousseau's not mentioned. Who else is mentioned instead of Rousseau? So who is the 4th and 5th person? Who are the 2 missing people? It's bonus points for you. Can't get bonus points on the IELTS, but the audio is on our IELTS websites, Mr. Cooper, at aehelp.com. Okay, so that's where the audio is coming from. All right, let's go to the next one. King Louis XVI. On the poster, in the middle, or on the side, where is King Louis XVI? There's a free version of our website, Pug Mobile. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, King Louis is on the poster on the side. Yeah, so the king, important, but not the most important. So The king is on the side of the poster. King Louis the 16th. Yeah. How about Napoleon? Napoleon Bonaparte. Last one, number 30. Yeah, Caddy, very good. Yeah, Napoleon is arguably the most important figure of the French Revolution. He eventually becomes the declared emperor of the French Empire, the leader. So Napoleon goes into the middle of the poster, B. Yeah. I didn't see anybody take me up on my challenge of who they talk about. There's two other people they talk about. A very famous woman and a very famous author in the French Revolution. Anybody remember those? They're very famous historical figures. The woman was Marie Antoinette. Marie Antoinette. And Voltaire. That's right, Yoon. Very close. Voltaire. Very, very famous French author and poet. Voltaire. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's do section 4 together. Okay, keep your marks. Let's do section 4 together. Again, I have the volume max on my side, so if it's quiet for you, turn up your volume or your audio and use a headset if it's possible. And now we will go to section 4. Okay, section 4 is a little bit more challenging. Unlike section 1, 2, and 3, you only have one chance to review the questions. It's not enough time to read all the details, so you focus on the main points. Okay, and again, students, don't write your answers in the chat. We will go through it together after. Okay, so here we go. With section 4, again, a couple people asked, where is this audio from? This is from our website in the audio section. So here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a professor discussing climate change. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Hello class, hope you all had a good weekend. Today we will be talking about climate change. Life on Earth is going to have some adapting to do if climate scientists are correct with regard to their predictions of the Earth's rising atmospheric temperature. Humans and animals alike may have to change both their habits and habitats. The average temperature on the Earth's surface has risen by an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the last 100 years, and this trend is continuing at an ever-increasing speed. Until now, it seems that business and the environment have met as adversaries. But with the growing profitability of green products, perhaps business can play a positive role in the fight to save the environment. There is an ever-growing consensus that the cause of climate change can be linked to human action. To be more specific, environmental change is caused by the emission of greenhouse gases. Carbon dioxide is chief among these. So what's so bad about things getting a little warmer, you may wonder? Weather patterns could become more extreme, the polar ice caps could melt, sea levels could rise, and incidences of famine due to drought could also increase. On the other hand, places such as northern Canada will likely become more productive for farming and mineral and crude oil extraction. What isn't positive about the permafrost melting is that the ice is a carbon sink, and when it melts, it releases even more carbon into the atmosphere. It's clear that humans will have to change their relationship with the Earth and its resources, but the debate remains over who should be leading that change. Advocates of personal responsibility claim that small personal measures, such as changing light bulbs or riding a bike, can make a significant difference, On the other hand, governments from developing countries are calling for economic reparations to be paid by developed nations because, after all, it is the rich who cause most of the environmental damage and made money from it. The other major group that has profited from our increasing environmental degradation are corporations. Business has always been about production and consumption. The invisible hand of supply and demand has long run our economic system, and now there is an ever-growing demand for conservation. The question is, when will consumer demand be commensurate with green technological advances that allow for environmentally friendly products to actually be more profitable than those that pollute? One option to speed up this process is to have governments impose true cost taxes on every product that is sold. This would force prices to include an economic pressure to purchase or use products that will not cause further environmental degradation or carbon emissions. There is little doubt that climate change is going to cause a drastic difference to our environment and way of life. The questions that remain to be asked revolve around how to solve the climate crisis and who will pay for the restructuring of our patterns of consumption that have led to these problems. With the ever-growing desire for green consumer goods, perhaps businesses can answer some of these questions by producing environmentally sound products. Even if business has a role to play in saving the environment, it is clear that we all need to do our part.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, so this is a single seamless summary of the lecture. Of course, you realize much of it is paraphrased, so not the exact same words in the summary as what you're reading. Let's go through it together, students. So here we go, climate change. And notice during the review time, I really showed and emphasized that you need to pay attention to these headings. Background information, it's broken up into sections. Causes and implications. You heard the word cause. Every time you heard the word cause, it was a signal that you're into the next part of the lecture. Who is going to change? So if you see this in your exam where you have this bold heading, pay extra attention to it. That will help you to make sure that you know where you are, your location in the listening, okay? So a couple people were complaining in the chat that you don't have enough time to review these types of questions. And yes, you don't, so you need to focus on the important parts. Here, economics, okay, talking about businesses. You hear that word business, corporation. And then this is the conclusion where there's a summary, changing our way of life. Okay, so let's go back to 31. 31 has 2 words. What is the answer? So what is the correct answer for 31? Humanity as well as other species may have to drastically alter their something and something. 2 words. Both of them start with an H. A. Caddy, very close. Habit and habitats. Yeah, habit and habitats. So habit are behaviors, and habitats are where we live. Okay, so habits and habitats. Both of them have an S on the end. Pay attention. Habits and habitats. Okay, it's plural there. Pay attention to plurals. Habits are our behaviors. Habitats are our living spaces. Okay, if those are new words, write them into your vocabulary book. Make sure you have a vocabulary book when you're preparing for the exam. Okay, then we continue. Earth's surface temperature has risen an estimated 1 degree centigrade in the past century. Businesses and environmentalists have been at odds with one another, but the emergence of something may change this. Of means this is a noun. What noun comes into space number 32? It's 2 words again. Remember, section 4 is more challenging. Your goal, students, if you're looking to get a band 7, 6.57, your goal should be to get at least 5 of these questions correct. Caddy and Yoon, absolutely. It's green products. Okay, the correct collocation there is green products. Excellent. Yeah, green products. Green products are products that are environmentally friendly. For example, rechargeable batteries. So batteries that you can charge, that you don't just throw away, that's a type of green product. Using reusable cups for your coffee, that's a green product. Okay. Causes and implications. Climate change is caused by greenhouse gases. Specifically what? So they say one kind of gas that's especially dangerous for climate change, and it's the chief. The person says chief among these, so it's the most important. Lovepreet, carbon is not enough. It has to be carbon dioxide. Okay, so you can write CO2. It's fine. If you know the correct chemical abbreviation, that's fine. Or you can write carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide or CO2. You can absolutely write CO2. They will accept that. Okay, that is a correct answer. It's the easiest answer, CO2. Warmer weather can cause extreme weather patterns, ice caps could melt, and famine could occur. Okay, if you want to get a high band score like a 7.5 or an 8, you should read the summary as you answer these questions when you're transferring to the answer sheet. Northern Canada may become a beneficiary as far as food production is concerned. It could become a more productive place for what? So Canada, if the climate's warmer, could become more productive. This one you might even be able to guess if you missed it. Caddy and Hong say farming. Santa agrees. Farming it is, yeah. Can become more productive for farming. Absolutely. Okay, farming. Very good. All right. Let's keep going. A big negative is that the melting permafrost contains a lot of carbon, which will be released if the ice caps melt. Who is going to change? People who think each person is responsible for themselves believe that small steps, such as using energy efficient something or riding a bike, can help. Energy efficient what? Okay, again, it's 2 words. Kyber, absolutely right. Haung, it's not bulks, it's bulbs. It's a B, bulbs. Bussy Fash, thank you for that little emoji. Just make sure to put an S on the end of it. Yeah, if everybody's looking at the chat, then Bussy Fash actually has the object. It's a light bulb. Yeah. So light bulbs. Okay, S. Using energy efficient light bulbs or riding a bicycle can help. Sunny 9S5 is saying, should we write our answers in capital letters? Yes, you can. You don't have to, you can. But just make sure that your spelling is correct if you do that. Okay, so it's light bulbs. All right. So governments from developing nations want developed countries to pay them for causing such environmental damage. The economics, so the business behind it, the something of supply and demand has been in charge of economics for a long time. This was a difficult question. Let's see who got it. You really had to pay attention and catch the words from the audio. This is for students who are looking for that band 9. Okay, for band 9. Yeah, it's the invisible hand of supply and demand. It's an expression. Invisible hand of supply and demand. Why? Because we can't see that. It's not visible, but we know it's there. People need food, so we grow food, we sell the food. It's the invisible hand of supply and demand. Okay, invisible hand of supply and demand. So you really have to catch that one. Is the only way to get it. Economists wonder when consumer demand for environmental products will surpass products that pollute. One solution to this problem is to institute a something tax. What kind of a tax? What's the name of that tax that can be used? That's right, Nilanjana. It's called a true cost tax. True cost tax. Very good. It's a true cost tax. That means that if you're buying something which creates pollution, you have to pay extra for it. One example would be like if you go to the coffee shop and you take a paper cup with you, you have to pay an extra, or a good example is in the grocery stores these days, you have to pay an extra 10 cents for plastic bags. That's a true cost tax on your purchase because plastic bags pollute the environment. Okay? This would provide an economic something to buy environmentally friendly products. So a lot of us, when we go grocery shopping, we take a backpack or a textile bag so we don't have to pay for the plastic bags every time, right? So it's putting what on us to buy environmentally friendly products? It's putting, for number 38, that's right, Bussy Fash. It's putting pressure on people. Okay? P-R-E-S-S-U-R-E. Pressure. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Let's keep going down to the conclusion. Climate change is going to change our way of life. Who will pay for the necessary changes in our consumption patterns? With the growing demand for environmentally friendly goods, it is arguably something which can best answer this question. So who is going to answer this question? Jyoti, good to see you in class. Pressure is the correct answer. Yeah. So number 39. Environmentally friendly goods. It is arguably, it's a plural here. Nilanjana, Bussy, you're close. Sana, you're a little bit closer. It's businesses. Okay, plural, businesses, which can best answer this question. Businesses, plural, makes grammatical sense here. Pay attention to plurals. Good job for Doves. All right. Okay, so last one. It is apparent, however, that, number 40, have a responsibility to look after the environment. Who has a responsibility to look after the environment? Kyber says, we all. Yeah. We all have a responsibility. Yeah, everyone. That's right. We all. You can't use the word everyone because then that has to be has. Everyone has. We all have. So it has to be we all. Yeah, Mr. Cooper, business would probably be wrong just because it's a plural. Here, let's take a quick peek at the answer key. It's in the back of the book. We'll double check our answers and make sure that we agree with the book here. So going back to section 3, here you notice, students, that in our books we actually show you the time in the audio where you can listen for the answer. So the answer for number 21 is Wednesday, and that comes between 1 minute and 1 minute 10 seconds. Number 2 is planning. The answer comes between 1 minute 10 seconds and 1 minute 21 seconds. Delaware, our classes are this time, Wednesday to Saturday, from 15 to 16 o'clock Central European time. All right, 23, tomorrow, 24B, 25, 14 to 1800, 26, Second World War, 27A, 28C, 29A, 30B. So that was for section 3. 31, habits, habitat. Okay. 32, green products. 33, carbon dioxide. 34, farming. 35, light bulbs. 36, invisible hand. 37, true cost. 38, pressure, business or businesses. Now, if you see that, a couple of you asked, oh, won't they take business? In this case, they will. So it's showing you that business, singular or plural, businesses, both are okay. All right? I think businesses is a bit better, but if it says business, they'll take it. And number 40 is we all, coming at 4 minutes 7 seconds to 4 minute 14 seconds in the audio. All right, students, again, if you had trouble, use the transcripts in the back of the book. Now, if you want to check your score, how you did, we do have in the very bottom of the page a score calculator. I just tapped that. Okay. I'll darken the screen up just for a moment so you can see this, what I'm showing you. Okay, so this is on our website. You have a score calculator. Notice that this is for the academic. We have the same for general. So it says academic IELTS band score calculator. Okay. And then if you know your score from last week and this week together, you can put it into the space for listening, what you got from 40. It has to be from 40. So Kyber says you got 37. So 37 would be a band score of 8.5. Okay. Pachu, 17 out of 20. Let's say we double that. So let's say you got 34. That would be 34 would be 7.5 band. Okay. For Doves, 30 is band 7 for that listening. All right. Okay, students, you can check that out on our websites. That was the academic website at aehelp.com. You can join us on our website, get our 6 full practice exams, over 100 hours of video lessons, a fully interactive course for your phone, tablet, PC, and you can use the code LIVE20 and get a 20% discount on our websites, because you're watching this live broadcast. For general IELTS, make sure you go to gieltshelp.com, where the materials are specific for general IELTS. That website looks like this with the green background. Okay, so choose the correct website, the correct product. That's it for me for today. Tomorrow, it's task 2 and reading. So tomorrow, task 2 and reading. Keep practicing. Keep up the good work. Much love to all of you. Make sure to study at home before you sit your next IELTS exam. Bye for now, everyone.